Childhood sucks. Who's didn't? If I'm on a spaceship, man, who didn't? Lots about this bitch, man, no shitting.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course I am your host, your YouTube sign off and imitator, never duplicate us, Superstar Tim Viciousson. Oh, we're gonna go over Raw this week was in our nation's capital of Washington D.C. But before we get into this week's show, just like always, we are going to switch gears, talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind, and the big highlights from last week's SmackDown. Well, started out with Sami, the Usos, and Solo out there. They hyped up on how the Bloodline's here, we run this place, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 they're in charge. And Sami and Jay, they aired out their dirty laundry, officially welcoming Sami into the family and having both Usos doing that special handshake with them, all the while Solo just standing there like, and you know, I swear it's me, maybe it's just me and my mindset, but man, the way they got Solo running with the crew, it's like, I personally, I think he's going to wind up leaving the family, the bloodline, before Sami does. And hear me out. Hear me out before you say I'm crazy. Because, well, maybe I am. He's part of the group, but he's never really participating with the group. He's always just standing there like, You know, like the bouncer. I get that he's the heavy. But you know, how many other stables have you seen that have had heavies that were functioned with them? You know? Just saying. Either way, Sheamus thing came out. He hyped up on how this coming Friday, he's going to have a tag match with him and Drew McIntyre teaming up to go and take on either the Usos or Riddle and Elias, whoever wins tag titles. That's coming up on this show. That's coming up on Raw, which we'll get into in a minute. But fast forward, and a bit of a spoiler, Drew wound up announcing he's not medically cleared on Monday Night Raw. So instead, on Friday, it's going to be Sheamus and Butch tag teaming. So then, a little bit of back and forth squawking. And then it leads to, then we get Sheamus versus Sami, which was a damn good match. And Sami got the win with Jay helping him out, getting the win, which is cool. Shayna Baszler had a match against Emma, much to no surprise. Shayna got the win. But, you know, I'm going to just say this now. To everyone that's saying, oh, I can't believe they just brought Emma back so she could lose, so that way she could do this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Fuck off. Seriously. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, as much as we all love wrestling, as much as we all love the athleticism, and we all want to see everyone rise to the top, here's some cold hard facts. Not everyone gets to be not everyone gets to be at the tippy top of the mountain. No matter what. As much as we'd all like to see everyone there. Not everyone can win a championship as much as we'd all like to see it. And at the end of the day, again, it's a fucking job. Because, God forbid, you don't think the person that's working at Jiffy Lube is changing the oil in your car because they want to just change the oil in random strangers' cars? No, they like working with automotives, but they also know it's something that they like doing and can get a paycheck for. Do you think the person that does coding for video games just decides to sit there and think, you know what, I'm going to go work for Sony or Nintendo for free and just because I like doing game coding? No! They choose to do it because they like doing it, but they also know it's something that they like doing and can get a paycheck for it. God forbid, someone that's a wrestler, they know that they love wrestling. It's what they do, but they make a fucking living off of it. Hell, you want a good example of somebody who made a fucking living off of being a goddamn jobber their entire life? The fucking Brooklyn Brawler! Just... Not everyone can unfortunately be top level star. Even if they have the most charisma, the most talent, and are beyond leaps and bounds who they are pushing as top talent. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. Not in real life, not in pro wrestling. So seriously, that's all it is. Either way. After the Shayna-Emma match, Gunther had a match with Kofi, which that ended very much so the way you would expect. Gunther chopped the living soul out of Kofi and beat the hell out of him. Gunther got the win, 1, 2, 3. Damage Control was out after that. Cut a promo on how... Cut a promo, this, that, and the other. Liv came out saying, 1, 2, 3. That seems about fair. Then came out. Started trying to fight all three of them. And then was saved by the return of Tegan Nox, which... way cool to see. I've been a huge fan of Tegan Nox for a good while. Nixon Noel. Really dig her work, and you know, yeah, really hope for nothing but the best for her on this run around. And SmackDown ended with Ricochet going against Santos Escobar in SmackDown World Cup, which major Lucha Underground throwback vibes here. Prince Puma going against King Cuerno, and King Cuerno was my absolute favorite character in Lucha Underground, no denying that. Santos Escobar, absolutely love seeing him as a performer. Absolutely love his work. This was a hell of a match, and like I said, lots of Lucha Underground throwback vibes off of this. Ricochet got the win. Afterwards, he then got the cup, held it up, yes, mwah, kissed it. All happy and joyful, and then Gunther came out with the realization, and then the realization came, he's going to have to face him, and then Gunther's going to chop the living shit out of Ricochet. Oh, damn, that's going to hurt. Oh, damn, that's going to hurt. Yeah, that's going to hurt something fierce. Yeah. So, with that said, now that that's all done, let's get into this week's show. Raw, it starts out with the Bloodline, Sami, the Usos, and Solo coming out. They're talking about on how they got a match coming up with Riddle and Elias, or at least they're supposed to. And then we see them roll that beautiful beam footage of Elias getting the crap kicked out of him earlier in the day. And then they said, well, hey, you can't compete. We ain't got no match. So let's just go home. Riddle then comes out, oh, hold on, guys. Now, just because Elias can't compete doesn't mean I don't have a partner. Now, before I get into that, I'm trying to scratch my head here, because if WWE is trying to convince me that that the Usos are bad guys, why are they having him beat up Elias? Because seriously, that's good guy maneuver in my book. Either way, Riddle then says, I got another partner I can work with, and then out comes Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn flipping out like a monkey in a banana factory, like, fuck, that kind of shit. But, yeah, then we get to the match. Owens destroys the Usos early on, just not even like tags in or nothing, just no. Kevin Owens single-handedly destroys both Usos right at the beginning of the match leading into the commercial break. Post-break, Riddle was the punching bag, and then and then Owens was the punching bag in again after the second commercial break. Matt Riddle wound up getting a hot tag in, started working good, and then at one point went to do a dive over, hit Solo and Jay, but Sami pulled Jimmy out the way to save him. And then Riddle started squawking and arguing with Sami. Usos wound up doing a blind tag. Riddle went in to go and try and work on one of them. I don't remember who it was, one or the other. But then they wound up doing a sneak attack and hitting the 3D on him. 1, 2, 3, that was it. Afterwards, they start doing a gang-style beatdown on him. And then Kevin Owens comes in with a chair, clearing out house. Everyone runs off, scattering like cockroaches when the lights go on. And then Solo comes in, starts beating the living tar out of Riddle, hits him with a Samoan spike, wedges a chair in his face, and then does a running hip attack. And then you see Riddle get taken out in a stretcher. Yeah. So, again, if you're trying to convince me that the Bloodline are bad guys, are you gonna have? You may want to change on who you're having them attack. Yeah. With that said, though, next match. Next matchup. Bayley going against Rhea Ripley against Asuka. Yeah. Triple threat, and the winner of this one faces the other triple threat, which we'll get into later on, and the winner of both of those will determine who's the next number one contender for Bianca's title. Whoo boy. Yeah. So Bayley then comes out, and then as she comes out, then out comes the MILF, the man, Becky, who then she's coming out through the crowd, hypes up, it's been a good few years since you and I have had a one-on-one. It's when you came back, I was out, and when I was out, when you were injured, I returned, and when I was injured, you returned, this, that, and the other kind of thing. But now you and I are both here at the same time, so I can't wait to finish up some old history between you and me. And then afterwards goes down, and then Rhea and Becky just dead eye locking horns with each other, and it was like $1 million stare off right there, just looking like that is going to fucking print money. That is just money. That is a fucking money printing machine right there between them two. Let them two go at it soon, man. I tell you, at fucking WrestleMania or even Royal Rumble the soonest. But man, oh man, that's going to be something. And then, of course, Asuka. Need I say more on that? Either way, as far as the match goes, dug the match. I thought it was really good. Asuka, she took out Bayley early on, and then Rhea wound up actually working on both. Really good action, nice good pace. Surprisingly, the thing that I took away from this more than anything watching it, and it's just me and my personal observation, if you can go out there and look for it, see it for yourself. Asuka was surprisingly the one more so being taking offense from everyone. And I'm not criticizing, saying, I can't believe they're letting her do that, blah, 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 blah. Fuck that shit. No. Not far from it. I just look at it as, okay, well, dude, she's, in a lot of ways, almost in a sense of, dude, can you really you can't take away her credibility. No. You could have her go and get put on the ass end of an ass kicking for a year straight. She's still going to be, she's still fucking Asuka. You can't argue with that. And yes, maybe that's a little bit of the fan in me saying that, but that's besides the point. Either way, damn good match. I liked it. We'll get into the other triple threat in a little bit. Match came to an end when Bayley hit the Rose Plant on the Asuka, and 1, 2, 3, that was it. So, and then afterwards, Rhea Ripley then came in, who got taken out earlier prior to the pinfall, so that way she couldn't interfere with it. She came in and then hit Asuka with a Riptide. Next up, we got Austin Theory going against Mustafa Ali, and this came to be because Theory was being interviewed in the back, and then Ali came up to him saying, you know what, I've been fighting for an opportunity. Fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. I want my chance. Theory then said, alright, You want it? You got it. See you out there, kid. Paraphrasing, mind you. And then, so we got Theory and Ali. Really good, solid pace. Nice back and forth action with it. I dug it. I thought it was going good. It was nice, good, solid flow. And then right out of nowhere, boom! Dolph Ziggler comes out of nowhere, attacks Theory, and then match ends in a DQ. And all the while, Ali's just looking like, what the fuck? What? Dude, what the hell? You just cost me my shot. You cost me my shot. What the hell, man? Getting on him like that. And then Theory comes back in, takes out Ali, takes out Ziggler, stands tall. So I'm predicting it now. At some point, we're probably going to see a triple threat between them. If not, probably a little later on, because we're going to have Seth versus Bobby Lashley, and the winner of that's going to wind up facing Theory at some point soon as well. That said, though, next matchup we had AJ, Gallows, and Anderson going against Baron Corbin and the Alpha Academy in a trios match. And this came to be because JBL was hosting a poker tournament. Corbin went to go and show his hand, and a couple cards fell out of his sleeves. And Karl Anderson called him out on that bullshit. And just as Corbin was about to get into Anderson's face, Chad Gable stood between them like, whoa, shoot, and was going to Anderson, shush, 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 and then JBL's, that's enough! We are not fighting here. You got problems? You got issues? Take it out there. So here we are. So we have a story. There's a reasoning for the match. It's not just, okay, random match. Even if it's a lackluster reason, we still have a reason. Either way, the babyfaces, they were leading at the start of the match. Anderson wound up being the punching bag until eventually AJ winds up getting a tag in and then getting taken out before the break and becomes the punching bag post-break. Karl Anderson then again receives a hot tag. They start cleaning up house. Now, it's not to say Luke... Now, I know I've emphasized as far as for the baby faces, AJ and Karl Anderson, but yeah, damn it. Luke Gallows did work in there, and I'm not trying to diminish, but he didn't really have, he was in there for a quick hot minute. That's it. Match came to an end, though, when they eventually did the Magic Killer on Chad Gable. 1, 2, 3. That was it. And just from watching from a TV standpoint, I gotta say, honestly, the highlight of it, more than anything, was JBL on commentary. And I know a lot of people shit on JBL. You can make your arguments about JBL for his personal and political views, this, that, and the other, whatever. Okay, that's all well and good. But the guy is a fucking heat magnet, and he knows on how to get heat and hold it. So, yeah, by all means, if... you make sure I say this right. Old lesson I learned a long time ago in life. Not just for wrestling, but in anything. You don't have to like the person you're working with, just so long as you know that you can work with them. And, you don't have to agree with JBL on his views on life, politics, or whatever. But as long as you could sit down and work with the man, okay, well and good. Just sit there, work with him for a hot 5 minutes, and then that's it. Then you go back to doing the rest of your job. Same thing with anyone else. Because, trust me, I deal with assholes and idiots on a daily basis in real life that I far from agree with. But I still do it anyway because it's part of my fucking job and I gotta. Now with that said, next up we got Akira Tozawa going against Dominik Mysterio. And this came to be because, again, during the poker tournament, Akira Tozawa called out Dominik, saying he was cheating. And then, just as them two were face to face with each other, JBL, hey, we don't fight in here. You two got a problem. Take it out there. So here we are. Dominik, I gotta say, surprisingly, really well for a solo match. And I can't remember the last time I seen him do a singles match for a bit, but this one I gotta say he did pretty damn well on, and yeah, the kid's still green, but he's improving, and you know, he's got a hell of a group of people to sit around to pick their brains. He's got Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Rhea. He could sit there and pick their brains all night long on, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Should I try this? What do you think if I do that? What if I stand like this? Or what if I move like that? Kind of shit. Dominik wound up getting a win though, doing a frog splash. So that's it. Now we come to main event of the night. Last of the women's triple threat matches. One of two. The second, excuse me, second of the triple threat matches. Little Miss Bliss, Alexa Bliss, whew. Going against Nikki Cross, going against the man, Becky Lynch, and whoo boy, really good solid action. This I gotta say this triple threat match I gotta say was better than the other one. And it's not to diminish the other one prior, I'm just saying, that one was there, this one was here. But it was a damn good match. A lot of good solid action, everyone got a chance to shine. I really dug it, a lot of nice back and forth going around with everyone. Match came to an end when, just as it looked like Becky was going to get the win, Io and Dakota Kai came out. They took out Becky, powerbombed her through the announcer's table, and then Nikki wound up, just as Nikki Cross was getting up on her feet, Bliss was too, and then Bliss, boom, hit the Twisted Bliss. Now, do want to emphasize though, they are laying the groundwork, the foundation has been set and the seeds have been planted. All the other metaphors that you can think of about Bliss eventually turning back to her crazy little fiend kind of character-ish. Because, you know, between anytime she's doing promos, you see little hints like maybe the little dot eyes that she had when she was in the Firefly Funhouse, or the Bray Wyatt moth thing in the background. Or in this case, during the match, at one point, she had Becky hooked like she was getting ready to go and hit Sister Abigail. Did not though. She just had her rigged for it. And then Becky wound up getting out of it. But Bliss wound up hitting Twisted Bliss. Wound up hitting the Twisted, or no, it wasn't. I believe. Fuck, I forgot the move. Oh well. See, like I said before, beauty of this show, we don't hide our flaws. We fucked up. We didn't write that. Unfortunately, one of the producers, Wade, forgot to mark down what the finish was on our notes. Thanks, Wade. Either way, so yeah, Bliss wound up getting the win all over Nikki Cross and Bliss. So next week we got Bliss versus Bayley. But that's it for this week's show, folks. So please, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the episodes when you can. Look for me on the Twitter, Tim Vicious. Also, trying to figure out that Hive gimmick, Tim Vicious on there. Also, folks, thank you to my executive producer, Ali Ray Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure you check it out. It's on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud. All that good shit, details are down below. Also, thank you to contributor of the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. They're a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of man, a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, folks, don't forget to check out whatamanure.net for some Vicious Rants apparel. Help support the show. Grab a shirt for somebody that you love, somebody that you hate, or just a shirt to give to Goodwill. Perfect for any of those three for the holiday season. And do not forget to check out these cool ass cats right now on Twitter. Kenny Kill at DSB_IV, Diabolica RA, Sergeant Curry Pants, and Dubs in your face. And folks, like I always tell you, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.